things about fabric is you can paint on your own designs or stamp them, which is one of the things I do. There's also a Spoonflower account that's been created with some gem fabric prints.
Obviously, iron-ons are.
Yeah.
I mean, I did Miss Snow White with all iron-ons.
Yeah, so there's a lot of
We
options
just didn't have
to
the
create
custom fabric yet.
fabrics that you need. So that's another thing that you can do.
So then you become a Photoshop kind of person.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? There was a good point about saying. Oh, I had a good point. I lost it. I'll get it. I'll get it back.
Anyway, any other questions in the room?
I just didn't want to forget you.
But
We should wrap it up.
yeah. So I mean, I always spend a lot of time in field. So like, it's always like, go to the bathroom before you go to the fabric store because you're gonna be in there a while. I miss that the old ones don't exist now. You know, like it's all the big ones. But you know, just I mean, I'm obnoxious. I go in, I feel it, I pull it, I you know, like do everything to it. So I'm like next to grandma and like she's like, oh you too, you know, and these are my friends, you know. And you make friends at your fabric shop that are like people that you'd picture at Jemcon, kind of people that have imagination, and you can conspire with them, you know, and they're usually more excited, you know, like that it's something different. But yeah, I think that was. I had some other wonderful point that I now cannot remember, but it'll come back. Oh. Like I was just saying, oh, that was it. The best way is if you're going to make anything and you're like, where do I start? You know, like you need a pair of capris or something for some outfit. Take like, you don't even have to destroy it. Take like your Roxy's pants or something, turn them inside out and put them on the copier. And you'll get like the little spots where you'll see the seam go down, but you can fill that in with a pencil. And then the thing is, like, once you get them on the cardstock, then you have, like, your Rolodex. So you can say, all right, I'm making this, and you can pull that out and then trace it and add, like, a longer skirt or something. But it's, like, totally play with, like, dimensions and, you know, like... But, yeah, there's always going to be a lot of, like, bad words and bad moments. Because, you know, it's just... Or you go too late. Or... You ever have a time where, like, for some reason you can't get in the hang of it, and you're like, I used to know how to sew.
Yes,
and
yes.
It's like you have to stop and, like, I don't know, have a glass of wine and relax, and then you can sew or something. Like,
It's true. But when I get on the roll, I want to do it, like, I like to do the same thing, like, a bunch
extremist,
of times.
yeah.
So it's like feast or famine when I'm sewing. I'm, like, sewing, like, up a storm or a...
Oh, and for fabrics, with the cardstock patterns, what I do is, to make it easier on lighter fabrics, I just use pencil to trace it out, because pinning it and cutting it is all well and good, but when you're doing like the fashions and you're, you know, drawing out like 25 of each thing at a time.
And they're tiny, so it's like a situation where if your thing slips on the pin cut method, it's like you've lost gems.
Yeah.
The sleeve is gone.
So I trace it out like even however I have to with a method, with the pencil or even a pen. Just it'll probably get snipped off before you're done anyway. And then on dark fabrics, that was where it was like, what do you use? And the best thing was you can even see a little chalk.
Chalk.
And chalk, you can get like the colored chalk even works better. That's like $1, you know. So always be cheap, you know, about these things. And so the thing is I'll trace out in the chalk, and the chalk will keep so that you can see it vividly on the dark colors. And then you cut it out, but the good thing is chalk just kind of in the end just kind of goes away by itself. So you're gonna be dry, your throat's gonna be dry, but it you invent your own little things that save you from like saying things you have to pray for forgiveness for. Because has anyone ever? You must, as lovely as you are, you must have done this. Have you ever invented a swear? Like, because something went so wrong?
Yes, I have done that.
Or you say something that you feel like you would be offended by that like you wouldn't even come out with, and then you wonder
And
like
it's always when sewing. Oh,
then you wonder what like Nana's sounding like, because like you know your sweet little Nana's probably like or when you're like trying to pull and you're like come on.
I experienced that when I learned how to knit. I thought grandmothers do this. Why can't I?
it's true. It's time.
All right, so we had 5.
Oh, we have 5. Any
Yeah.
last questions? I think we can just do questions.
I mean, you can like people can even I've scanned patterns to people before to like help get them started and stuff. I mean, you always have to like it's kind of like the t-shirt pattern when I did the original one was earlier on in the game for me where I needed more hem. So now that you've adjusted it, since we've all learned, it's like you know you can always adjust it on your own.
I would probably adjust it the next time more. It's just something that evolves. You're gonna find what works for you.
Yeah.
What I gave you, the other thing, just to let you know on this one, this is an inside out and traced stormer tights. Stormer tights are not super stretchy. So if you are making this with a super stretchy fabric, you might want to actually shorten the leg. Because otherwise you're gonna get some baggy tights.
Finally,
this is a stormer.
Finally, you don't run into it as often as you want, but there is a fishnet-looking mesh
Yes.
that is not a pain like fishnet because you can't catch fishnet.
Mm-hmm.
It looks sort of like nylon, but if you look close, it's like the right size, but it's so hard to find.
So this is a good one because once you have this, which is for like a sort of a non-stretchy tight, you can decide to make pants, you can make leggings just by truncating the leg.
I've done Daisy Dukes.
Yes,
but
even some bicycle shorts, Daisy.
Yeah, but you can. I mean, this gives you the. Or if you cut it here, you have like thigh highs.
Right.
You know, like.
Yeah. So this is also my sock pattern. Good point.
That's why I say
here,
backwards
my knee
and
sock.
inside out, because you begin to think like. You almost start thinking about your own clothes like inside out, and then you start getting like, all right, I need to stop thinking about this for a minute. You know, like the obsessive thinking that goes into this kind of like hobby. This is not a hobby. This is like a
lifestyle.
mission. Yeah, it's like an alternate lifestyle.
Yes.
Because we're no ordinary people. We're like all gonna like die in the name of Jem like someday when we're at Jem's 50th anniversary and we're all getting kind of on in years. We'll still be. I think we'll still be doing it until there's like only a few of us left and we're like, you know, like. But so it's funny. But yeah, and treat yourself to like some, you know, things like if they're gonna help you. And you're saying like, oh, I shouldn't spend it, but you know, like. Some of the tap lights up here, if you're getting to the point where your eyes can't get enough light, because I'm getting that point, like, just all kinds of things, like, don't you sew when you've got, like, the lamp, and
I'm about to invest in one of those bobbin holders that holds all the colors of the bobbin thread, because right now I have, like, 5 bobbins, and I'm switching threads in and out, and it's terrible.
Yeah, I got a side winder, a bobbin winder, because you don't want to keep unthreading the machine every time you want to do a bobbin. So these are just these little things that you lift. So you end up,
That's a nice idea.
and it just spins it. It's like, they're like $10 or something, but they're worth it because eventually these do go. But also, then say I run out of the bobbin and you're sewing for a half a mile and you don't even realize you run out of the bobbin, you know, like we've done it. Then you can just like, and get more bobbins, yeah, like,
Yeah.
but make sure they're the right ones because, you want to keep them around because you're going to be so angry if you're nearing something and you need to thread a bobbin for like 1 foot.
Yes, that happened to me. It was literally like 3 inches.
Yeah, and make sure you keep like a couple of spools on hand because you'll like you don't use that much for Jem, but if you're doing volume, you're gonna like go through more than you think. So buy the big fat ones and like. It's worth it. They're not 99 cents anymore, but the Zare, good old days. But And then don't turn down any free stuff, like,
Yeah.
right? You know, we're gypsies that way. People just give you stuff like, oh, don't you do that? You know, and like, I can tell you how many gowns I have in my attic, and I don't wear any of them, but you know, people keep giving me things for shows and dolls and material but so yeah. I've even used fleece, my goodness, like, and fleece.
Sorry, yeah, it's like.
Oh, fleece is like the fuzzy,
Okay, I
like
know.
blankety material.
No, I know what it is, but wouldn't it be too thick for a doll?
Oh, you never know. Like, you could do a little football jersey. You know, if you do a theme or a display kind of thing, like how you like to create, how a lot of people like to create little like. It's like I call it window dressing. Like you're a window dresser with the dolls.
Yes.
So you know, say you want to make like your team's jersey for a doll or something. You know, like the thing is, like, always look around at what's on clearance because you might think of something you didn't know you wanted to make.
Yeah. It really does.
Red tag.
Dictates your design a lot of times. Very cool.
The only thing is know that like if it's on clearance, you better get it all that you need if you're going to, because it's not going to be there anymore. I hate when they discontinue things.
Anyway.
All right.
Well, thanks for joining us for this sewing. And if anybody like thinks of any questions later on, I'm happy to be emailed or.
A great site that Maria turned me to that was a little bit cheaper than
Maria's
retail was it
giving us the
Spandex World?
Spandex House.
Anna,
Mine
no.
by the yard.
And if that's not enough, there's a Spandex World.
Yes.
Across the street.
That's where this fabric came from, was Spandex House, my costume fabric from last night.
You can find like any color, any pattern there that you did not even know